Here we're going to look at example 2 where we are adding and subtracting complex numbers. So we're just asked, how can you add and subtract these complex numbers? Part A, we have 4 minus 7i. Again, be careful, we have this parentheses here. So you want to note those. With addition, those parentheses really are not going to matter, but you'll see when we get to the subtraction problem, they do. So with the addition problem, the grouping symbols really won't make a difference. So I'm going to rewrite this without the grouping symbols. And kind of note here, this positive negative 11 is going to wind up changing. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this again as minus 11 instead of plus negative 11. You don't have to show that step. I'm just showing the detail. I don't want to skip any steps to make sure everything is pretty clear. Then I'm going to rearrange my terms, and I'm going to put the 4 minus 11 first, then the 7i and the 9i. Again, not entirely necessary, but it's a good idea to get used to this and get some practice with it. So now I'll combine like terms. 4 minus 11 would be negative 7. So let's do that. And then be careful, it's negative 7i plus 9i, so that would be a positive 2i. Right, so you want to be careful with the signs. You do want your answers to be written in the form a plus bi, which is your complex number form. And the constant negative 7 is our a, and then we have the 2i. If you had it written, let's say this way or this way, it's not technically incorrect, but you should write it in this form. All right, you do want your constant first. It would be the correct way to write it, or the proper way to write it. Now, in part B, we're using subtraction here. This is where you do have to be extra careful. This subtraction sign applies to everything inside the grouping symbols, the parentheses afterwards. So this is 6 plus 8i minus 2. Think of this as distribution of a negative 1. So minus 2 plus 5i. Okay, since we're subtracting that entire group, your signs will change. Again, I'm going to rearrange these to write the like terms next to each other. That's optional, that's up to you. The better you get at this, the less likely you will need to do that. And then 6 minus 2 would give me 4. And 8i plus 5i would be 13i. And that would be my answer. If you want to box these in, you can. And this is in a plus bi form, so it's good to go. Do be careful with subtraction. All right, that subtraction will affect your grouping symbols after. When it's an addition problem, you don't really have to worry. The signs won't wind up changing.